Hi y'all, this is Charlie here with another message of encouragement. I'm inspired to give a message, not even sure what it's about, and I'm sitting right here in front of you, but it's gonna all just truly just happen. But anybody who's been led to this has been led to it for whatever reason. It's through your own perspective of why you're hearing this and why you're even here. But we're all in this together, and everything is through love, compassion, gratitude, appreciation, joy, and it's time to remember that we're here to play together. We're truly here to play together. The karmic lesson stuff, I believe, is it's time to resolve all these karmic issues that we've been holding in our physical body, and it's time just to let it go with so much love, because that is probably the biggest thing that I have been understanding in the last 3 or 4 months if we're going to put a timeline on it. But part of my whole experience has been realizing that I realized why I picked the family that I picked before I came in this body. To truly transform all that understanding into love, because that's all it is. All these conditional loves, that if you do this way, then you're worthy and deserving of love. If you act this way, then you're worthy, and that was helping me remember that I was worthy by just being, not by what I had to do, because when we realize that's kind of the humanness part of us, when we feel like we have to go over here and do this, or we have to go over and do that, which we do in some cases, but we realize when we go over and do this, or we go over and do that, we're doing it because we love ourselves enough to say, you know what, I deserve this, I deserve that. Because, one of the things I've been truly embracing is everything is vibration. It truly is. It's all vibrational. And I think as we do that self-love, look within and ask ourselves, well, one, first, before I even say ask yourself, one, it's time to say, I matter. I fucking matter as much as the next beautiful aspect of who I am around there. Every aspect matters. We all matter, but as much as I can tell you you matter, it's so important that you understand from your own unique perspective how much you matter. And I promise you this, and when I say promises, they're all unique perspectives, but I promise you this. If you take time to look within, really take time to look within and feel the beauty that you have inside you, that divine spark. And when you feel that, and you start feeling that love towards yourself, and then allow yourself, first, I think part of the process is you find that love within yourself. Then you feel that euphoria, and that may last a while, but then you go into feeling all these emotions that we allowed ourselves to stuff aside. And I know I've shared this before, and our cells are like memories. They hold memory of all that dense energy. And then as we embrace these emotions, doesn't mean that we have to sit there and dwell on them. It means we just sit with them like a child that's sick, where it's got a congestion and everything. And if you sit with that child and do whatever you're inspired to do, but you sit with that child and love that child, all of a sudden in time that child gets better, but that child becomes stronger by going through that. The lungs become stronger, their immune system becomes stronger, but sometimes all we can do is just sit through these emotions that we are feeling, especially in this time of understanding. We are being bombarded with all this high energy of love coming in through, and part of as our bodies are receiving this, and this is my perspective, and I'm always sharing this, it's so important that you feel within whether this resonates with you or not. But I guarantee you, if you're watching this, or if you hear about this, it's helping you understand something about who you are. But as we truly look within and feel these emotions, just sit with them. Like I said, like that baby that's going through a spell or whatever. And our in our ego mind, we can say, oh, that child is being so conflicted with this. But from a higher perspective, it's like that child is going to understand that it can overcome that, and it's actually making it stronger by overcoming that situation. A child ain't thinking, that little baby's not thinking about, well, I should have did this, I shouldn't have did this, I shouldn't. That baby's learning to, it's just being. And then it has all these different feelings that come across, and it's allowing itself. I don't know if you've ever been around a 1 or 2 year old, but when they're little and they start getting these emotions, they'll make these faces like, they have these shots of emotion. They don't know what the heck to do with it. They're just like, or they'll grab you and they'll squeeze you as hard as you can because they just feeling these emotions they don't know what to do with. But it's also helping them understand. And but a lot of times we'll say, oh, they're feeling this, and then we project our feelings onto them. And that's part of that process for them to say, you know what, that's not what I was feeling, but I was still trying to understand how I'm feeling. So when it's just part of my body helping me understand these feelings. And then when we can look at all of our lessons, all of our challenges in our lives, as just these shots of emotions that come across us, and sometimes we don't know what to do with them because we haven't really took time to process them. And sometimes it's just about feeling them to release them. But we are so powerful, and we want to take that belief on. Our body's like, okay, we're all in, this is our belief. Until we realize that we can look beyond that from a higher perspective, because most of the time, like I've said this before, and this is my perspective on our ego. Our ego is that child that never got seen, never got heard, and every time it allowed itself to get heard or seen, it wasn't well received. So it allowed itself to retreat back into that conditions of unworthiness, not being understood, and that's our ego takes it on. And so our ego shines that on us on all these situations where don't do that, you'll get hurt. You remember what happened last time we tried that? We got hurt. And your higher self's like, so what? That was a lesson. Lesson is let's be brave enough to go beyond that. Because once we go beyond that and we do that, it's just like when you're starting to exercise. And let's say you haven't exercised in a long time. Well, you start getting your body up to exercise. Okay, well, you may just walk first. Well, and you walk for like a couple weeks, and then you realize I feel so much more energy, because the body's like, as much as it likes to be still, it loves to move. And then, but it's your understanding what your movement is. And it's just like our emotions. Our emotions come across us, and if they don't feel positive to you, I believe what it is our higher self says, I'm not coming down there. I am not coming down there. If that's what you need to feel that. But I'm not coming down there. That was just helping us understand that works for us or doesn't work for us. But if we want to keep it our ego thing, then it's like, okay, let's bring it around again, because they didn't realize it was a pattern. So let's bring it around and let's amp it up this time. And as you amp it up, and that means your challenges get more intense, because it's the same challenge, just a different way of coming around to you again. Here it is again, but now it's really in your face. Are you going to look at it from your higher perspective, or are you going to look at it from your ego? Because you look at it from your ego, it's coming around again. And it's really going to pump up. After a while, it comes to a point to where, do I want to see this in this physical body, this pattern in this physical body, or I'm going to allow my life force to be sucked out of me because of my own beliefs? Because I don't know, this is no disrespect, okay? I'm going to say this because I realize, to me, death is just expansion. There's no such thing as death to me. But have you ever looked at somebody after they pass on, they look like a fucking raisin. They look like a motherfucking raisin, where their life force has just been sucked right out of them, and it was done to their own self through their beliefs. And that's no judgment. And I know there's southern death and all that, but that all happens for a purpose. And just like a lot of the beliefs were, and this is no judgment. I mean, this is in my own life that I witnessed. Loved ones that I really thought a whole lot of, my mom and father, both. Their beliefs were so strong and they couldn't look beyond them. So they allowed themselves to put in these self-prisons until the life force has been drained out of them. My mother's still in her understanding, but she has no clue about this understanding, but that's part of her understanding. As much as I love my mother, I cannot control her journey. It's so important for her to understand her journey. Even no matter what situation is, all I can do is just make sure she's clean. And that's still not my responsibility as and I know this is challenging for me to say this out loud. It's not my responsibility to control her journey. It's just my responsibility for my understanding, just to love her and appreciate her for just her being her. And then when I understand that, that's how I feel about everyone. Every unique perspective. I love you for just you being you, because I understand what you're trying to transform by you being. But as we embrace all these lessons from a higher perspective of unconditional love, then we can release them, because that's a part of, I believe, is transforming. It's just loving that as a lesson, not who you are. Anyways, that was kind of that brought up some emotion in me just right now, just discussing that with you, because that's a very vulnerable place for me. You know, I love being lighthearted, because even that, to me, is just, I can see the humor in it, but not from a perspective of, you know, it being below me. It's just that lesson was so important. And everyone that has been in my life that didn't see who I was, because they were just helping me see who I am. And that's truly who I am. Just I am. Charlie's just beautiful, beautiful character that I play. But I am just a beautiful spark of consciousness, having this unique expression of conditional love to truly give me from this perspective. And me is that I amness that I am. A perspective of what unconditional love, and for me to be able to see beyond what these conditions were brought to me, so I can transform them with such love, compassion, gratitude, appreciation, and understanding that these were self-imposed, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, because as more as you understand, as unconscious you believe you are, you're more conscious than you are, but you cannot have that lesson when you're in that true consciousness of who you are. That's part of allowing yourself to forget to remember. And it's all a process, that circle of understanding. Forget, remember, 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 now live. Now it's time for us to live like we truly come here to do at this time, to evolve into that higher consciousness of unconditional love towards you as that individual I amness, and realizes the more love that you have for who you are, and the more forgiveness for who you are. In other words, when I say forgiveness for the judgment that you put on yourself to help you overcome that judgment, because that was truly just a belief that did not benefit you anymore, and as you can see beyond it, then you can let it go. Anyways, that's pretty much, I'm asking right now, is there anything else you want me to discuss? I'm going to let them come through and talk about whatever the heck they want to talk about, because they're all good, and I really want you to feel this. You are a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spark of the all. Having these beautiful experiences. Everything around me is a vibrational understanding of who I am. But it's all unique to us. The water flowing has its own unique consciousness, but it's spreading. It's also reminding me to stay with the flow. The wind, just trust the wind. Trust the wind. Everything's here to benefit us, but it's also, we're benefiting, as much as it's benefiting us, we're benefiting it by being. Anyways, that was a long, anyways, you're all magical. You're all a blessing. I love you. I truly love each and every one of you. And remember the magic that you truly carry within. And you're fucking awesome, and I'm going to let them talk. We are the Arcturians. Arcturians. We are here with a loving message of encouragement, of understanding, of growth. We're in this time of understanding as you're raising your consciousness, as you're allowing yourself to have these experiences of letting go, of releasing all this karmic energy, in other words, past energy, from other unique perspectives of who you are, and from this understanding that you are in this present moment, because that's truly what it is, all present, all the moment. As we have shared with you how much time is an illusion, but it's an illusion of your own understanding, as you allow yourself to remember who you are through all these beautiful, beautiful expressions of who you are. Allowing yourself to be in this understanding, being so present, being in the moment, because as you realize the moment is all it is. The past, the future, is just another manifestation of who you are. But as you embrace who you are in this moment of understanding, you affect the past, the future, because it's all the now. It's all the now. They're all lessons to bring you into the now, into the present, into the present. And as you remember, your guidance is truly, truly here, the center, your heart, and you realize how the central sun works. Consciousness, boom. All these different perspectives that go around consciousness. All these, just as it expands, it's about expanding with love, compassion, understanding, the gratitude of this understanding, gratitude of this understanding. It's all bringing into the one, but the one is all. The one is all. Everything around you is just a unique perspective of the all. And it's so important that you understand the spiral of understanding. The spiral, can go wide, and then it goes all back to light. The spiral is wide, and then it's narrowing, narrowing. Then it goes back to the all, because that's who we are, the all. But we're all so unique. But when you start understanding truly what vibration is, vibration of understanding, you have what you call the first dimension, which is lower understanding of consciousness, the second dimension, which is under a higher understanding of consciousness. There's still consciousness of understanding. Then you have the third, and then that's kind of where we're evolving from. Really, we're more into the fourth. But as you understand the spiral of understanding, Now, as you evolve into the fifth, it can lead you to sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. Then there's multiple of understandings. There's no way that we can explain this in more of understanding that it's just part of evolution of consciousness. But it's through so much love. We're here guiding you, but we're just another perspective of who you are. But we're unique. We're unique just like you are. But you hold all of the unique perspectives in yourselves. In yourselves. That's why when you ask clarity on how to say that, as you truly understand your darkness, the dark side of who you are, you realize that's just as much as the light side of who you are. That's the duality that you allowed yourself to experience, to realize that you are always the light. It's just like when you shine a light into the dark, it shows all your shadows. So as the light is being shined onto your physical vessel, it enlightens all the shadow areas that you have not allowed yourself to feel, so you can release. And as you embrace these feelings, as Charlie has shared with you, you can sit with them, you can analyze them, but what we would encourage you to do is just feel them, love them. Love them as just your understanding. Then they no longer serve you. And that's part of evolving, is realize that all these conditions are just helping you understand how magical you truly are, and how magical you have not allowed yourself to be, to grow into that magic you are. It's just like that little child in the little body. It doesn't know what to do with the little body, but as it grows and understands the bigger, it learns how to move the body, it learns how to hold its head up, it learns how to speak, it learns how to eat, it learns how to, but a lot of this is innate within you. But then the child comes into this world, and then it's allowed itself to be born in these conditions. Then all of a sudden, it understands when it gets a certain age that it can eat this kind of food. But until this understanding says, no, you cannot eat that kind of food. And then that child takes that belief on as its own until it understands that I can eat anything if it feels right to who I am. And able to say, I don't care if that's what you want to eat, but that's not what I want to eat. But that was what they were challenging you to do, because what they were sharing with you to eat was what they were sharing down, but it was a more intense way that they had to eat. And I know we're talking about eating, and that's just being silly, because that's how silly it is, that all these beliefs that you take on, that's how magical you are. And then you embrace these beliefs, your body takes on this one, this body takes on this one, this body takes on this one, but it's all one. And now it's all these conditions to remember that you're all one consciousness, but your unique perspectives of that consciousness. And it's so important you to be that unique perspective of who you are, and be brave enough to step into that and realize that's why you're here. That is why you're here. Because as you embrace who you are, you raise your consciousness up, or your vibration up, and you'll know by how it feels. You'll know by how it feels. You don't have to wonder. It's about trusting how it feels to who you are, that unique perspective of the all, just like we are. We're in a higher vibration. We're around you, we can observe. But it's so important that you remember who you are from that unique perspective, and you embrace that, and don't allow yours to dim your light for any aspect of who you are, because as you shine your light, that light pops on, that light pops on, that light pops on, because it's all about remembering that you're just beautiful light of consciousness, having these experiences of life, the school of life, to remember you're a master. That's why you're here. That's why you're here, to remember you're a master. And then you raise up to consciousness, but it's time to experience this consciousness from your higher perspective of unconditional love. And remember, we're here to play together, and we'll teach each other through play. All this duality and beating each other up and I'm more powerful than you are, you're just a peon, all that shit, this does not flow no more for the higher consciousness. It was awesome in that 3D world of understanding because it was teaching so much. But now it's time to remember that higher consciousness of love that you truly are. And remember, it's okay to have fun with it. Have fun. Charlie likes us to be silly when we come on here, and because he loves being silly, he says, I'm here to have fun. But he had to remember all the other stuff to remember that. It's just a process of remembering. That is truly what you're in right now, a process of remembering, but you're doing it your own unique way. That's how powerful you are. But you'll realize it's all one. As we share these messages of encouragement, our message is embrace who you are. Be brave enough to be that. Do not dim your light for anyone anymore. Nothing will harm you but you yourself by cutting yourself off from the energy that you truly are. And as we encourage you to embrace who you are, you have angels around you, God, and you have different galactic brothers and sisters around you. You have more perspectives than we're going to even sit here and try to name. But I will tell you this, your Palladium brothers and sisters, your Syrian brothers and sisters, we're all here. We're all here. Cheering you on. Cheering you on. Because we see the magic that you are. We feel the magic that you are. We have such love and appreciation for each and every one of you. And we're not going to take questions today, Eric. We just want to remind you, trust how it feels here. We have such love and compassion for each and every one of you. And as Charlie says, you're fucking awesome, so be it.